Hello students, welcome to our today lecture. In our today lecture, we are going to discuss the consumer equilibrium through indifference curve and budget line approach. As our in previous lecture, we have discussed about the budget line and the indifference curve. So now in our today lecture, we will discuss that how a consumer is in equilibrium in indifference curve and budget line approach. So first of all, let's discuss the basic idea of the consumer equilibrium. A consumer is in equilibrium when the highest indifference curve is tangent to the budget line, or the point where the slope of IC is equals to the slope of budget line. Indifference curve slope is MRS, marginal rate of substitution, the rate at which a consumer is willing to trade off between good Y for good X or good X for good Y. Similarly, the slope of budget line is the price line or the price ratio, that is PX over PY. So the point where these both slopes are equal, that point shows the consumer equilibrium through indifference curve and budget line approach. So while discussing graphically, the point where here the green line is the budget line and these are the different indifference curves. As in our properties of indifference curve, we have discussed that higher indifference curve give us higher level of satisfaction. But for consumer equilibrium, it is necessary that indifference curve is tangent to the budget line. If a consumer can attain this level, then his satisfaction and utility increases. But as every household has limited amount of budget, so he cannot move away from this budget. So IC3 is not attainable for household. So this is beyond our budget. We cannot attain this indifference curve or the bundle of goods which are mentioned on this axis. And similarly, while discussing IC1, this indifference curve is also not showing the consumer equilibrium because at this indifference curve there is underutilization of resources. So only option remain, that is IC2, where indifference curve and budget line both are tangent to each other, they both are equal, their slopes are equal. So IC2 is showing the consumer equilibrium under indifference curve and budget line approach. And one thing more, we have only taken two goods, good Y on Y axis and good X on X axis, because in indifference curve and budget line we discussed that indifference curve shows the different combination of two goods, and similarly budget line is also shows the combination of two different goods which a consumer can attain. So a consumer is in equilibrium when the highest indifference curve is tangent to the budget line.